So this is your test corrections for 6.4. Make sure you're watching the correct test corrections. This should say I can generate equivalent forms of fractions, decimal, percents. So what you need to do is make sure that you are have a sheet of paper where you have your assignment, your two columns. One is to show your right answer, showing all the work that I'm showing, and then explaining why you got it wrong. So make sure you are doing that. Remember, if you don't turn it in, you can't bring up your grade to a 70%. And then remember, you still need to do that activity to bring up your grade. So make sure you're doing all of that. Okay, so here's the first one. It says a waiter earned a 17% tip. That what decimal is equivalent to 17%? Then we're going to record this in the griddable. So what we do is we usually have 17%. We take away the 17 and you put it over 100. So now you have 1700s. But it didn't ask for a fraction, it asked for a decimal. So 1700 is just 0.17. So in order to enter in the griddables, you have your decimal already entered for you. So you're just putting 17 and you need to fill in those bubbles. Once you do that, then you're done. You could enter the zeros if you want. You don't have to. That's up to you. I wouldn't do it. And then it is positive, so we're not even entering any positive, but you have the option of doing that too. So make sure that you have this correct. If you do, then just move on to the next problem. Remember, if you do have it wrong, that you do need to explain why you got it wrong. So make sure you're doing that too. Here's number 4. Number 4 reads, Emily is comparing different discounts offered at a local store. Which statement about the different discounts are true? So we have A is 2/5 is equal to 4/10, which equals to 40%. B is 20 hundredths, which equals to 1/20th, which is equal to 20%. C is 3/10, which equals to 300ths, which equals to 3%. And D is 1 3/10, which equals to 4/3, which equals to 75%. So just looking at some of them, you could tell right away which ones are wrong. So I know that 20 hundredths and 20% are correct, but the fraction is wrong. It should be 20/100, which is just 1/5. So I know B is wrong. Let's see another one that we read. Here we have 1/3, then 4/3. Well, those two might be equivalent, but then you have 75%. Well, 75% should be 3/4, so that's another wrong one. Then we have A is 2/5, which is 0.4, which is 4/10. Well, 2/5, if you multiply by 2, this becomes 4/10, which is just 4/10. And then to make it into a decimal, you just move the decimal 2 times to the right, and then you have 40%. So this is the correct answer. And let's look why it's wrong. It says 3/10, but when you read the decimal, it's 300ths. So 3/10 and 300ths do not match, but 300ths and 3% do match. So those are correct. The only thing is that they are not equivalent, all three of them. So that's why our answer is letter A. So if you got this one wrong, make sure that you are explaining why you got it wrong. Some of it is because you just didn't do the math. Make sure that you are understanding all of that. Here's the last one in this category. It says Jonathan took a survey of his classmates and recorded the information on the chart below. So here is the information. Which of the following represents the fraction of students in Jonathan's class that chose wood shop as their favorite elective? So before we could even do that, we have to add up all the students. It didn't give us a total, so those are all your parts, and we need to do a whole. So in this case, we have 15 plus 10 is 25, plus 8 is 33, plus 27 is going to give you 60. So my answer is, my whole number is 60. Now they're asking for a fraction, but remember fractions could be expressed as decimals too. So that's why we have decimals as our answer choices. So it's asking for wood shop. Wood shop is something that we're looking at. So it's 27. Oops. 27 over 60. And remember, we have to change it to a decimal. So because we have that, then we're going to go ahead and divide 27 by 60. Remember, is top in, bottom out. We add our decimals and zeros, and then we just divide. So in this case, 60 into 27, we know is 0 times. 60 into 270, I know 6 times 4 is 24, so I'm going to try that. 240. When we subtract it, that's 0. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down the 0. So 60 into 300, well, I know 6 times 5 is 30, so I'm going to try that one. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. So my answer is 45 hundredths, which is letter A. So if you just put 27 hundredths, then you would have gotten this, the B, but that's wrong. We never do that. We always try. We always do the division. If you got C, then you just did the total. And then if you got D, I'm not sure what you could have done wrong, but that is incorrect too. So my answer should be letter A. Now go ahead and explain your mistakes here. Make sure you're turning in the test corrections with the title when we started is 6.4G text corrections, and make sure that you are turning it in order to get your grade up. So if you're not doing that, then you cannot improve your grade. So make sure you do that. So make sure also to complete your activity. And good luck on that.